at a crossroads. From time to time, a section of rail needs repair, but that doesn't mean the whole line needs replacement. The same way being proud of your history doesn't mean you're stuck in the past. No, we're not stuck. We hear the whistle blowing and we're inspired. Inspired by the legacy of the people who transformed this terrain into a rail yard that supplied America with the ore needed to win world wars. We're inspired by our unshakable identity, hanging tight like David facing down Goliaths, and we're moved by stories of our community's kindness. No matter who needs help, neighbors pitch in and get the job done. Hushed and humbled are more at play than pontification, but don't for 1 second think that means Proctor is a simple small town. It was built as a company town, and it continues down the tracks of time. And this rail revival is our destination.
Yep, and now get rid of 37. There we go. Hey, we're here, and we're quite loud, so if you want to bring us down a little bit, Aaron, on that master slide right there, bring it down so we're not bounced. There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the rail yard. Right now, we're going to bounce it right over to our in-house PA, Mr. William C., as we're getting late on air, and here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Proctor Public Schools, good evening and welcome to the Rail Yard for tonight's matchup featuring the Agates of Two Harbors High School and your very own Proctor. Reminder, Proctor High School encourages positive sportsmanship and behavior at our activities. Please encourage players and coaches with positive comments and acts and respect the decisions of the game's officials. We are here to cheer for our team and the players that represent our school. We are not here to single out players from the other team and make them feel bad. At this time, we'd ask that you please rise and kindly remove your hats as we have a moment of reflection for our past and present military men and women serving here at home and abroad. After a moment of reflection, we will have the playing of our national anthem. Game as appointed by the Minnesota State High School League are Justin Crick, Bobby Sawyer, and Tyler Urzar. Now today's starting lineups for the visiting Agates. Please welcome junior number 1, Trinity Giddings. Freshman number 11, Natalie Tokbaum. From the 8th grade, number 23, Olivia Hagland. Sophomore, number 41, Belle Bouet. Junior, number 45, Noah Machenmacher. The head coach for Two Harbors is Gavin Bopp. And now, let's meet your starters for your Proctor Rails. Sophomore, number 3, Chloe Carlson. Junior, number 4, Sierra Chacho Carlson. Junior, number 11, Paige Evans. Junior, number 12, Presley Tappaney. Junior, number 22, Lily Smith. Head coach for your Proctor Rails is Mr. Matthew Solberg.
So there are your starters for tonight's game, featuring the Rails and the Agates from Two Harbors. I turn that up. Is that a little too loud for you, or is that good?
Well, actually, can you bump it a niche more?
You know what? How about I'm going to start over here.
Okay.
And then I'll do that. How's that?
Oh, that's lovely.
All right. Sorry we're on air a little bit late, folks. Dealing with some audio issues. If it's not one thing, Coach, it's another.
Well, just like me running in the door, you going, where have you been?
Yeah, where are you been? So Ted Keevan along with Chad Brenna here for tonight's matchup featuring the 0-2 Proctor Rails to start the season off. Lost to Crosby Ironton and Mountain Iron Brule last week, the number 1 team in the state, but held with them in a very good game, 8-point loss. And then this 1-2 Two Harbors team, talking with Coach Bopp before the game, this comes in the last 8 games is a 7-1 tilt for the Rails in this. And so
I would anticipate this being a tight game to start the game off with. Two Harbors is not very a whole lot of experience on the floor, especially with starting an 8th grader. Not saying that she's not a good player, but this Rails team's deep.
Right, absolutely. Well, and you looked at it across the board. I mean, you look back in the 21-22 matchup against these two teams. I mean, the Rails, and I'll mind you, that was a very powerful year for us, 97-28 win on that. But, I had a great conversation with Coach Bopp before the game. He talked about his keys to this game, and I know we're a little late into the action. People will hopefully be able to just watch the action while we're kind of talking about some of this. We'll get some stats going at half because we'll try to figure it out as Tappaney is going to drive into the paint, now going to go up off the glass and gets that to fall. But anyways, he talked about, his keys to the game, making sure that they rebound because they're not a very big team, being very young, needing to allow some of that height to grow in over the coming years here is going to be a big deal for this team. But also talked about making sure they can stop the transition that we're going to watch here right now and see if that can happen. That's Chloe and Smith. And Smith can't get that to fall, and down with the board are the Agates. And then also talked about making sure that if the Rails do come out and do any kind of a press, that they're able to break that. And being that young, less physical, smaller team, he was concerned about that being the thing.
Well, just watching after the made basket, 2 trips down the floor ago, the 1-2-2 press that Coach Solberg plays. Once Proctor settles down, and that seems to be a thing with me every time, they got to settle down a little bit. A couple minutes in, I would anticipate everybody's got the jitters out. You're going to see Proctor just crank the pressure up on a made basket, and we'll see how Two Harbors handles that.
Absolutely. Tappaney now, and we'll come back to that as she's inside to Carlson. Carlson going to draw the foul, go to line and shoot 2. That foul is going to go against number 23 for the Agates. That's Olivia Hagland. That'll be her team's first here of the first half. Some of the things that Coach talked about, he's been an assistant, but this is his first year as the head guy as Carlson hits the first of 2. One of the things he talked about was, young team. They're going to face their licks this year, but he talked about how they are hardworking. They take quality feedback. They don't hang their heads as Carlson hits the second. They don't hang their heads. They're good with constructive criticism, and he's really excited about that piece because that's going to allow them to be stronger in the coming years as they become that team. Because he had a concern, and I know I'm getting long-winded, and I apologize, but he had a concern that these kids, especially up there, aren't coming out to play basketball until 7th grade instead of starting in those younger ranks.
Right.
And now you're trying to teach a 7th, 8th grader how to go to their left if they're right-handed, and they're behind the curve.
Exactly. And he's absolutely right. You got a younger team like that. You're going to take some lumps against better teams. Your Escos, your Proctors, your Hermantowns, but that's how you get better.
So there's an end line turnover for Bole that for the Rails, as the Rails will come back down here, only up 4-0 in the early goings. I say only just because they've been in the offensive zone more than the defensive zone with a few turnovers by the Agates. Welcome into all the Proctor faithful, along with the 2 Harbors fans that have joined us. Smith up for 2, and she gets her first 2 of the game. The other thing he talked about, when we talk about numbers, coach, is this. Right now they've got one Arrowhead basketball team. It is a co-ed team that is made up of 3rd through 6th grade players. That's all they have.
Yeah, oof.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, that's all you can say is oof.
Yeah, so he talked about the big thing that he needs to do is start growing this from the youth level up, and he knows where he's at. He's got a new coordinator for his K3 program. And last weekend they had their first outing. Smith for 2, and does get that to fall off the fadeaway jumper. So Smith on the board with another 2. But foul coming here against. That foul is going to go against Sierra Chacho Carlson, her first team's first. But he said, here's the positive. He said K3 last weekend on one of their first days out. Now, mind you, mixed boys and girls, 50 kids.
That's great.
That's a great, almost got to travel there. So, I mean, that's a great number.
Absolutely. I mean, he's absolutely right. You got to start growing it from as soon as you can offer it in order to be competitive when you get to this level. I mean, look at how deep Proctor's program is. All the coaches that they've had here in the last 10, 15, 20 years, everybody invested time into the youth programs because that's your feeder program.
Smith with the jumper for 3, can't get that to fall. And picking that up and rolling it with his Peyton Walker. So Evans for 2.
Bucket.
So Evans got for 2, and getting ready to come in is number 55, Bron Van Gortz.
That sounds like a wrestling name.
It does. The Von Roski.
Yeah, did you see there's a movie coming out about the Von Erich?
I'm super stoked.
Right?
Super stoked. So back to the game here. First off, want to thank our students that are working the game, our producer, director, and student leadership, Aaron Hag, down there taking care of us giving me a few frowny faces tonight, like, what are you talking about? Leave me alone. Also want to thank Maddie Bowman, our scoreboard and technical guru, and on our camera, Max Merrill. They are doing their things. Thank you to them for being here, and because without them, we could be here talking to ourselves, but we wouldn't have the rest of it going on.
Yeah, nobody wants to listen to that. I mean, I have a hard time believing people want to listen to us anyway.
I hear they do it anyway. I don't understand it. That's going to be knocked out of the hands by Giddings. Now Carlson controls it again. Now rolls out. Now into the paint, off the block. Can't get that to fall. Is a little too strong.
Got to make the bunnies, Ted.
And going up for that was Greta Gustafson. Pushes that out to Smith. Carlson steps back, pop it, and hits it. So Carlson for 2 there. And the Agates to inbounds. Little strong on the inbound pass was number 41, Bole. Bole trying to get that up to Takvam, just a little bit off the front of her hand and out of bounds. So another turnover for the Agates.
Well, and this is good experience for 2 Harbors. They're gonna benefit from turnovers like that in transition. Because it's all repetition. You know that, Ted.
Yeah.
We got a timeout.
Carlson for 2. So we got a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout as well. We'll be back after word from our sponsors. We'll be back right after this.
I've had this problem.
Big problem.
I
Up arrow.
really
Up arrow.
needed.
A good mechanic.
And I kept searching.
And searching.
There are so many choices.
It's really hard to find one that has all the things on my list.
But I finally did it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
If you were looking for one as well,
Look no further.
Here's a really good one.
Just use mine.
Use mine.
I'm very satisfied.
Definitely recommend. Problem gone.
thank you.
Who will our next generation be? What will they achieve? At Proctor Public Schools, we see great things in the future as we create an environment to educate, engage, and inspire our students to seek adventure, gain knowledge, and make a difference. What do we see in the next generation? We see greatness.
And back here at the rail yard, Ted Kiewit along with Chad Brenna. 14-0 your score. Rails lead. Welcoming again to the Proctor faithful and to the two Harbor Agates that are joining us tonight. We're glad we can bring you this medium here from the rail yard. And the Agates coming out of the timeout will start to move it up the floor as Coach Bob had the conversation just about trying to get some conversation going on the floor amongst his players.
Yep. Talk. It's losing teams or quiet teams are losing teams. Everybody's mouth should be moving the entire game. Doesn't matter what you're saying as long as you're saying something.
Absolutely. So the 211s battling here at half court as Evans and Takvam fighting for it. Now Takvam gets it knocked out of her hand as she was trying to get it passed over to Gidding. And Evans trying for the and one, but will go to line and shoot 2. Let's see. We have so Peyton Walker's made her entrance into the game this evening. So has Greta Gustafson. Also into the game now, number 14, Gianna Hansen, in the game as well for the Rails. So you got Gustafson, Carlson, Evans, Walker, and Hansen on the floor for the Rails. On the floor for the Agates is Giddings. Bole trying to catch numbers here as we get them. Hagland and Carlson trying to get the easy push on that one. Bole and also back here in the backcourt. Is that a 31, Coach?
Yes, it is.
Nazguda. I'm going to go with that. Sorry if I butchered it. So press being put on now by the Rails, looking for that 5-second, and they're going to get it. Or 10-second violation, not 5-second on the end line, 10-second on the floor. I corrected myself.
You did. Good job.
I got bad numbers in my head.
That's the greatest turnover in basketball when you can hold a team to that. If you can get a backcourt turnover.
And in this situation, you probably see a few of them just because
Yep.
if the Rails start to put that pressure on and start to work on that as a team.
Yeah.
Evans inside to Hansen, off the hands of Hansen, but able to come back down with it. This is Carlson from a Travis Carlson 3 round, but unable to hit it. Now back into her hands. Walker. And bingo, bango, bongo.
There's
3.
our first bingo of the night, Ted.
Yep, she hit 3 in a row last Thursday.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, did you? What was that?
Your water bottle behind you.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it was. Carlson can't get it to fall, trying to pad her own stats with a shot, a rebound, a shot, and a rebound. And that's going to go off out of bounds. Into the games, Ellie Pease and Sierra Chacho Carlson back into the game. Evans and Carlson will take a break. So, Coach has got a super deep bench this year, and he'll be seeing that rotation a lot.
Here's my thinking right now, Ted, with 12 minutes left in the first half. I'm playing the end of the bench the entire second half. I'm not playing my top 8 players just because we got Hermantown on Thursday.
Yeah, save those legs. Walker pushing it up.
No
Sierra
reason
Chacho Carlson up off the glass for 2.
No reason to run him deep into the second half. Let's see what you got on the bench.
Absolutely. And again, we've talked about that for many years with this team, since Coach Solberg took over. And he tends to do that, a pretty good job of that, of getting that mix when needed. so that he can have those younger players to get ready for a season and have a younger bench like he has this year.
Absolutely, and I would, if things continue this way, I would not have my starters even start the second half. I'm playing everything below 9 or 10 the rest of the game.
So Chacho Carlson for the attempt up and over to the waiting hands of Hansen. Hansen tries to put it back up and draws the foul. And that foul is going to go on Chloe Nasguda. Her first, team second. Oh, pardon me, third. We missed one.
Did we?
We did. That's all right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And Hansen misses the first.
So we have official score table for.
That is. We can check that at break.
I'm going to get a hot dog at break.
Tapping into the game for the Rails. And Lily Smith back into the game as Gustafson and Sierra Chacho Carlson take a break. Hansen, second one rims out as well, but down with it is Pease. Walker drives out, pushes the Pease in the corner, pops it for three. Short on the front side, on the side of the iron, now into Tappany from the waiting hands. Down with it at the board this time is Takvam, and she'll bring it up into the offensive side of the floor for the Agates. It's a nice pass that almost went through the hands of Giddings. Giddings drives all the way around, now loses it. Picking it up is Lily Smith, who was just a little too strong and tried to push it up to Pease and just didn't have enough there.
Well, and right now Proctor's not playing like Proctor.
We're getting outside ourselves a little bit,
playing
trying to play too fast.
And playing a little sloppy.
Well, I hate to say it, but for a lot of our teams, when we try to play too fast, we play sloppy.
Yeah, but there's no reason to play sloppy, no reason to play fast.
Well, 100%.
It's 22-0. I mean,
so Smith for two.
I get wanting to run and gun, but there's no reason to run and gun. Work on your stuff.
So bringing it on the offensive side, getting rid of it right away was Bole. That pass was intended for number 23, Hagland, but she was unable to control it. Far side to Smith, pushes it back to Pease. Pease drives into the paint, pushes it to Hansen. Hansen can't control, and that bounces off her hands and into the hands of a waiting Agate, and foul going to be called against the Rails. That's going to be on Walker. So Peyton Walker draws her first, team second. Carlson and Evans back in. Walker and Pease take a break for the Rails. Hansen with the interception on the inbounds pass, trying to control it, not going to kick it out of bounds. Well, they're going to say that it went off the hands of Gidding, and we'll stay with the Rails. Are you going to live?
I think so.
I think Brenna is dead.
I apologize for that.
That's all right. Nobody heard you. Evans for two.
We're going to.
What movie is that from? Where does that? There. I can't remember what it is. Anyways,
Dumb and Dumber.
I couldn't get that one. Anyways, so we're at a timeout here. We will be live again this coming Thursday when we will have the Hermantown Hawks come calling here to the rail yard. We will be on about 7:10, 7:05, somewhere there. Try to beat William C. on the ability there this time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Bailey Hermanson.
Yeah.
See how she's developed since the last time I've seen her here in the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the kid, I just haven't seen her play since.
I haven't seen her play. So talk with us. We're going to have our Proctor Pizza Player of the Game at the end of the game when we do our 3 stars. Tell us what's going on over at the shop on Main Street here in Proctor.
Well, we've all been sick in the last 2 weeks.
But you're not getting the customer sick.
No. Nikki and Eric were sick. It was locked them out of the building, and then I've had a few days off. And, we were decorating for Christmas. We're having an elf theme this year.
All right.
I got to post some stuff
like
on our
elf, like in Will Ferrell elf, or just elf?
Yeah, like Elf and Will Ferrell.
Okay, just making sure.
That's our theme this year for Christmas. I got to post some stuff tonight when we get off the air. I bought some Christmas sports coats last year for all of us to wear to Christmas because my mom loves it when we antagonize her.
Well, that's always nice.
Yeah, and they came and I didn't bother to check and see where they came from when I bought them, so they were Asian sizes.
So that triple X was actually a medium.
Yeah, so we are doing a ugly sport coat giveaway at Proctor Pizza in the next week or so. I got 6 of them.
Are you doing the fat guy in a little coat?
I couldn't even get my shoulders in it. So, yeah, it would definitely be a fat guy in a little coat.
That foul is called on Hagelin of the Agates. That is their 4th, her 2nd. Well, that'll be fun. Carlson to the line to shoot 2 as she was driving through the paint. And Carlson hits the first.
You know, and we're excited to be back with the Proctor Pizza Player of the Game. We sponsored some race cars this summer, and one of our drivers, PHS, all of our drivers that we sponsor are PHS alum.
Yeah.
You know, we're all about community. And
well, I told
Paulie Ripley won.
I told Mr. Ripley that it wasn't fair that he got a pizza before I did.
Well, his was on the board. You got a pizza. It's just not on the board.
Well, let's get it on the board. Let's go.
Paul won the Midwest Mod track championship at Proctor, so I'm like, all right, name a pizza after you. And he's like, pepperoni sausage. I'm like, that's boring. So we ran the 28 special for 3 months. You know, it's actually on the menu. You can get it at any time. It's 16 family-sized pepperoni sausage, 4 cookies, and 2 pieces of cheese bread for $28. I'm just thankful that Donnie Lofdahl didn't win a championship
for
$4. He's number 1.
Oh, 1? I knew he was down in those single digits.
Well, and you know, Ripley and Evan Chikulski battled it out. It came right down to the last lap.
Botley with her first foul, or that's the one we're missing. Her 2nd, team's 5th. And at the line is Hansen. Von Gort's back into the game for the Agates.
2 Harbors is wearing Jordan uniforms.
All right.
That's nice.
All right.
Way to go, Bobster.
And Hansen misses the 2nd.
He's an alum too, Ted.
Who?
Bob. Gavin.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah,
I knew that. It's almost like I've been here for 10 years.
Yeah, well, we should actually tell him we should wear a hat or something. That's
I'm going to leave that to you two. You guys are kind of in
shiny.
that. You guys are kind of in that same field. I'm not going to get in there. Smith now seeing the opening, drives to the paint, now pushes it back out to Carlson. Carlson for 3, can't get that to fall. Down with it is Hansen. Hansen big on the boards again tonight, as she was the other night when she got her minutes. Tappany comes to Evans, and a full crew getting ready to come in for the rails. And Smith for 2 as the drive. Smith looking to get her points quick here, as I'm going to guess.
She probably knows she ain't going to be playing much more.
She's not going to see a whole much in the 2nd, or even the rest here in the 1st.
So, Ted, what do you got for feedback on the old shot clock? Other than it really hasn't come into play yet.
It really hasn't come into play. I mean, you look at the game on Thursday when MIB was here, and, you know, both teams were pretty much, and this is Smith on an in pass before the Agates gets that one to fall. And Smith with 10 on the night. Both teams were pretty, you know, with about 8 seconds, 9 seconds. They weren't even using that full clock. They were just coming down. They were getting their set. They were doing their thing. Another turnover on the Agates on a travel. And coming in is Pease, Sierra, Chacho, Carlson, Walker, and Gustafson. Taking a seat is Hansen, Smith, Tappany, and Evans. Here, I don't know what it's like at other schools right now with this first year of the shot clock, but here, it's
going to matter on Thursday.
Well, you know, I thought it would as well with MIB. But you know,
Coach Buffetta's got about a 10-second shot clock anyway. He wants a shot up and
get it up and get it go.
Yeah. Let's giddy up, go. I would assume against Coach Clark and Hermantown that it's going to come into play.
Now, with her retired, is she still coaching?
Yeah, she's still coaching.
I didn't know if she stayed on coaching or not.
No, she's still coaching.
Okay.
She's just not the AD
Right,
anymore.
I knew that part,
yeah.
but I didn't know if she retired from it all or not.
No.
So Coach Clark, I'll have to reach out and send her an email here tomorrow to get lineups and stats and all that kind of fun stuff so that we can be ready for the game.
Yeah, she's a proud patron of Proctor Pizza.
I wouldn't. Everybody's a proud patron of Proctor Pizza. And if you're not and you're listening, give it a run.
There you go.
Give it a run. Hey, you got to bring back the Uncle Mac for more than just one day, though.
The Uncle Mac's on the menu, Ted.
Well, you said
that was the 1 year that was the 1 year anniversary of it.
But you said that your ad said it was back for that day.
No, for that price.
Oh, I want it for that price too. Agates drive it up.
No,
Stop.
That's on the menu.
Short. And now going to be able to try to move it up. Got to get it moving. Got to get up over half stripe, and does. Is getting stuck. Trapped inside. Mishandled by Bole, but up and in
Nice.
is Bole. So Bell Bole gets the points and gets the Agates on the board. No shutout here tonight, which makes me a very happy person.
Absolutely.
Gustafson, long three off the iron, goes out of bounds, and is going to go the other way for the Agates. So Agates with the turnover will get the offensive possession. Hey, just so you know, Golf League starts tomorrow. Super stoked for that.
Golf league?
Heck yeah, let's go. 9 holes at Torrey Pines tomorrow.
Where's that?
Well, Torrey Pines is nowhere in Minnesota. Big
You're
steal.
Indoor golfing?
Yeah.
Like in front of a screen?
Yes.
Is that fun?
Yes. Carlson.
So it's like playing a video game.
Yeah. With your buddies and pizza.
Is it coming from Proctor Pizza?
No, it's all over at Superior.
So do you throw clubs like in real life, Ted?
No,
or-
because then it goes through the screen, and then you got to pay for that. Walker, big steal down the other side. Can't get that to go as the layup goes straight up and down.
Proctor'd have another 18 points if they would make their bunnies.
Well, you know, Coach Solberg talked about that. No more missed layups.
Yeah,
And because they missed a lot of layups last week, Thursday, and they talked about that as one of his keys to the game. No more missed layups.
well, he's down 9. Not that I'm counting.
Yeah, that goes off the waiting leg of Bole.
Oh.
Push off by Carlson.
Eh,
It's easier to officiate from down up and up here.
That was pretty weak, Ted.
So
He
Chloe
swung
Carlson
at the air
draws
harder
her
there
first.
than she actually did. Did she push off? Yeah.
Gustafson, Pease, Carlson, and Chacho Carlson take a break. Hanson, Tappaney, Evans, and Smith back on the floor along with Walker, the lone non-sub. Into the deep corner, Hanson trying to get there, unable to. That's going to go off the hands of Smith as she trying to get in on that pass that from Takvam. At halftime, we'll let you visit with all of our sponsors. We'll come back. We'll talk stats. Get ready for second half action. Bole drives in. Can't get that to fall. Up off it was Hanson. Couldn't hang on to it. But ripping it out of the hands of the Agate player was Walker. And here comes Smith. Smith into the paint and Euro step, which Coach hates, and gets two.
That is the most useless move in basketball.
But it worked.
It's still useless.
You had your head down, and I saw it happen. I had to make sure I threw it out there.
I hate that.
Interception there by Walker. Walker looking for help. No, going to drive in the paint. Now gives it off to Evans. Evans for two.
Euro step and flopping. Two things that don't need to be there.
Hey, did you see that flop by LeBron James the other night?
That's all he does is
Oh,
flop.
man. That was brutal.
And then he complains when he doesn't get the call.
Jump
How
ball.
about them Timberwolves, though?
How about those puppies?
How about that?
Oh, man, I tell you what. It's like they all grew into adults over the summer.
Right?
And decided you know what, maybe we can play together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird, huh?
It was crazy. It was super crazy. But we've been talking about that a lot with our sixth graders in class, so that's been kind of fun. Inside to Smith from Hanson. Smith for two.
She got to have about 14 already. 10 at least.
14.
14. Okay, come on, Coach Solberg. We don't need to rotate every 1 minute.
Well, that's what it looks like it's going to be. Foul coming on Walker. That's going to be her second. Team's fourth. So Pease, Gustafson, Chacho Carlson, and Carlson back into the game. Again, the lone stayer out there. Oh, I apologize. Walker came off. Chacho Carlson stayed this time.
Ah. The lone stayer out there?
Stayer. Is
that like way gooder?
The lone individual that did not sub out. How about that?
Yeah, this one's way more better.
Better.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to get that plural.
Way gooder.
Way more better. Hey, you know what?
That's right, folks. Neither one of us are English teachers, and you should be thankful for that.
I teach tech for a reason. Kids got all over me about my sometimes my bad spelling habits, and I'm like, I teach tech. Folks, I got to say one thing to my camera guy. Max, make sure that plug is coming out of that power jack, the green one. Push it in. There we go. We don't want to lose signal. So shot come down and the waiting hands of Chacho Carlson up off the glass from coast to coast for 2.
That used to be a good show, Ted. Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
Coast to coast.
Coast to coast. You know what was also?
Hey, you think if I send Rory a text, he'll get me a hot dog?
He might. He's kind of a nice guy.
He yelled at me when I got here.
Why? Because you're late?
That and I didn't bring him a pizza.
Well, if you're bringing anybody pizza, I got to get it next time.
Well, why would I bring Rory a pizza?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's got to come to me.
Because he's just going to come up here and take it away from us anyway.
No, if you bring it to me, I will bite the hand that tries to steal from me. Greatest American Hero. That's a good show.
Absolutely.
That was a great show. People are like, what are these guys talking about? So the Agates inbound. It's into the waiting hands of Swartout and able to go get it before it goes out of bounds. Now, on the dribble, and Chacho Carlson pulls it away on the missed dribble by Swartout, and not able to go drop it is Carlson. But Chacho Carlson. Carlson came down with the board. Now here come the Agates. And again, you can kind of just see what Coach talked about, just being a young team.
Yep.
And talked about trying to get these players, boys, girls, hockey, basketball, it doesn't matter, get them to come out and play this sport earlier so there's more comfort on the floor. But the cool part, I will say, is he is 100% right. You know, you got a score of 40-2 right now, and these Agate players are not hanging their heads.
Nope, they're not giving up.
They're not getting mad at each other.
Nope.
They are playing, and they got that Proctor lunchbox mentality.
Yeah. Well, Two Harbors has always been that way. You know, a bunch of lunchbox kids. You know, the gritty, hard workers. I've never seen a Two Harbors team that's ever quit.
Right.
You know, they fight to the end, good, bad, or otherwise.
Carlson free, can't get it to go as it falls off the back side of the iron. Tappany for 3, but
No,
gets that to fall.
I was talking to Coach Surdich from Greenway, a hockey coach. You know, and he said he's got a real young team this year too. And you know, we compared Greenway to, you know, the likes of Proctor, Two Harbors, you know, Barnum. You know, just gritty, hard-working kids. They just show up and go.
Checking in for the Rails, Evans, Walker, Smith, and Hanson. Taking a seat for the Agates is number 23, Hagland. I'm sorry. I've been saying that wrong. Hagland. Sorry about that mispronunciation. Smith bounces it to Chacho Carlson. Foul going to be called on Giddings.
You want to pull off the inhaler?
No. Actually, Van Gortz got called for that. I didn't even think she was there, but that is her first, team 6th. And Chacho Carlson hits the first. No, mine's not that. Mine's been the same kind of a upper head cold type thing.
Yeah, I've had a cough pretty much since I had COVID.
And
in
Chacho
2020.
Carlson gets them both to fall. Thank goodness I have. The only thing I've had since the last time I had COVID was I have really no smell unless it's super pungent, but I still have my taste, so that's why I haven't gotten smaller. Giddings drives to the baseline, now drives inside, trying to get something to hold, looking for help, pushes it back outside. Takvam gives that off to number 33, Swartout. Swartout was looking for Takvam cutting through. We're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with the Agates. So Takvam to inbound the ball. She's looking for somebody top of the key. This to Swartout, now back to Takvam. Takvam looking for help, gives it to Giddings. Giddings gets help, now goes to the ground, and body contact going to be made. That's going to be Walker. That's going to be her 3rd, team's 5th. Walker going to take a seat with 3 fouls, and Walker had a great game. Peyton Walker got player of the game last game. Came in and
yeah, and I didn't disagree with your guys' pick.
Yeah, you told me that, so that was good. At least I knew I did something right on Thursday night. As Takvam inbounds it to Giddings. Giddings looking for some help. Now gets it up and over to Van Gortz. Van Gortz back to Gidding. Gidding drives into the paint. down low, now pushes it back out. Takvam comes around the right side. Play clock expiring. Shot is off. Not able to get it to fall with Swart out, but it was almost there, right at the buzzer.
That's the first time that we've had a full, 35-second possession.
Yeah. Hansen on the board with 2 for her first 2 tonight.
I'd actually really like to see high school girls basketball in the state of Minnesota go back to quarters. Because then you're getting the girls more prepared to play at the college level.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's where the shot clock comes in more than just twice in the game.
Rails on the steal. Good pass from Smith to Hansen. So Hansen with 2 back-to-backs.
Performance in the first half here.
Smith?
Yeah.
100%. That's a great little backdoor pass there to Hansen. Going down into the block, Hansen able to get it right on the deal. Chacho Carlson with another steal. Picks it up and going to drive up and in for another 2 for Chacho Carlson.
That's just fun to say.
Chacho Carlson. There's words in the English language that are absolutely fun, like whisk.
Yeah.
Whisk is fun to say.
And Chewbacca. And Voldemort.
So you've heard of Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah.
How about Chewy on a buoy?
There you go.
Yeah, right. Long pass to Hansen, now to Smith. Nice play by the Rails as Smith puts another 2 on the board. As time is expiring here, 53-2 your score. Been a long time since Chacho Carlson with the steal without looking on the intercepted pass.
Play for last shot.
And 20 seconds, even clock differential here.
Unless you get that, of course.
Smith can't get it to fall, and down with it is going to be the Agates. Trying to fight for it is Giddings. Now a little scrummer on the floor. Everybody's moving. Can't believe a travel hasn't been called. And
that's a good way to burn the clock, too.
Yeah. And that is going to be a jump ball, which will go with the Rails. So the Rails will look to get one here. Into the corner, Evans at the clock started a little late because that should have been ticking a lot faster than that. And at the horn, 53-2 is your score at halftime. 53-2. The Rails lead the Agates. We're going to take a break here from all of our sponsors, and we'll come back. We'll talk stats. We'll talk our next broadcast and what's coming up, and then we'll go from there. How about that?
Yeah, we'll go get a hot dog.
All right, we'll be back right after this. Spacebar.
Proctor Pizza and Sub Shop. Proctor Pizza offers baked pizza, unbaked pizza, subs, tacos, wraps, salads, tater tots, nachos, burritos, and more. Proctor's local family business for over 35 years. Proctor Pizza offers brand new monthly specials, such as the taco pizza, bacon cheeseburger pizza, Hawaiian pizza, and more. Proctor Pizza.
Can't hear the TV? Need to protect your hearing? Audiology Concepts connects patients to their lives again by offering ear cleanings, providing earplugs for protection in loud environments, and helping people get hearing aids. Audiology Concepts also offer hearing evaluations, verification of hearing aids, and hearing aid repairs. There are 7 different locations across Minnesota and Wisconsin. Audiology Concepts, you'll love what you hear.
Proctor's Reed Foundation was established to enable life-enriching academic, art, and athletic activities which cannot rely on traditional funding in the Proctor School District communities. Reed has provided grants for the Imagination Library, numerous sports teams, Rails TV, A Night to Shine, the Playground for Everybody, and most recently, Reed helped the Proctor Fire Department invest in life-saving handheld thermal devices. Visit rea3d.org to learn more about how you can support Reed and help your community.
I chose Heritage Window and Door because of their reputation and because of their renewal Anderson windows that they have. And their workmanship was fantastic.
I'm so impressed.
Your home is your largest investment. Don't waste your money on cheaper windows. These are the best. It's my money, and I'm going to spend it where it's going to do me the best good, and it happened to be Heritage Window and Door.
They really know how to treat a customer.
This has been an excellent experience.
For years, Troy's Service Center has been the go-to auto repair shop in the Proctor community. Quality and efficient repairs make it more convenient to have your vehicle serviced. Troy's has always been for the community. That's why they have been favored by Proctorians alike. But don't just take our word for it. Check out the many reviews on their service. Troy's Service Center can ensure that your vehicle keeps your life driving forward for years to come. Troy's Service Center has been servicing and repairing vehicles for 3 generations. To contact Troy's Service Center, call 218-642-3322 or visit troyservice.com.
Wittes Trailer Sales in Esco is your leader for trailer sales, maintenance, and repair in the Northland. With brands such as Illuma, Look, Pace, and more, we have a trailer for every need. Don't forget, we also sell and install snowplows for all vehicle types. Searching for a Mahindra tractor? We have you covered with over 8 different models in stock and ready to tackle projects of all sizes. Wittes Trailer Sales in Esco, where customers become friends.
Potentials, lots of different options with the different loans that are out there. You know, what we'll do is we'll talk to you about your scenario, your situation. We'll figure out what actually works best for you. But the key is what is going to be the most cost effective. So we will compare conventional versus FHA, you know, USDA versus, you know, FHA, different types of things that way. You know, sometimes even if you're a veteran, the VA loan might not actually make the most sense, you know, just because there are some fees associated with that loan that you might be able to do the same type of loan but do it cheaper with a different type of a program. You know, but again, that's something that we will figure out. You know, we'll figure out the best scenario for you. We'll give you the options, but we'll obviously lead you to the right and most cost-effective way to purchase or refinance that house.
Protect your investments this winter with an enclosed trailer from Wittes Trailer Sales, located in Esco. We also sell cargo trailers, utility trailers, snowmobile trailers, and much more. Did you know we stock a full line of Heinecker snowplows? While you're here, shop the largest selection of Mahindra tractors in the area. Don't forget about our service center, ready to tackle jobs of any size. Wittes Trailer Sales in Esco, where customers become friends.
So back here at the rail yard, Ted Keefit, and along with Chad Brenna, eventually Chad will rejoin us, and we'll be able to get this going as we're coming out of halftime here. 53-2, the Rails lead the Agates of Two Harbors. The Rails come in 0-2 after a loss to Crosby Ironton, and then also a 8-point loss to MIB, the number 1 team in Single A, who defending champs. The Agates come in here 1-2 with, I'm just trying to jump to their schedule here quickly. They lost to Duluth Marshall for their opener. At Duluth Marshall, at Ely, they lost and then got their first win, 62-43 versus Silver Bay on yesterday, matter of fact. Then we have us, and then down the road, Northwood, Southridge, Rockridge, Cherry, McGregor, Moose Lake, Willow River, and so on. So their schedule not going to get much easier as they go forward here. So starters on the floor for the Rails at minus. Who are we minus? Let's see. Chloe is out there. Evans is out there. Tapney's out there. Actually, no, that is our starting 5 that we started with. To start the second half here. First 3 shots for the Rails off the iron. And now back into the waiting hands of the Agates. Number 23, Hagland, with the board. Now brings it in the offensive zone. Just having a conversation, and I'll just kind of bring it back to you, Coach, is, the one thing that is adamant that I can see in this Agates team is they have fight in them. I got no volume from you. Let's see if we can change that. How about that?
Absolutely, they got fight in them.
That's a little bit better. They got a little bit fight of the dog. Who scored that just now?
Yeah.
I was fixing audio.
I wasn't paying attention.
All right, we're not going to worry about it. So I like the fact that Coach is able to keep that morale, being able to say, hey, you know what? We got to win. Let's go in here and see what we can do here. We know we're on the short end of the stick with 3 players being out, especially their best player, see what can happen. Smith, long baseball pass to Carlson. Carlson not able to get there, but able to get there and defensively get up and down and make sure that she protects it.
That was a great defensive play.
I would not disagree with you. So now, and that's the other thing, you weren't here on Thursday, but Hope and I talked about it a lot, is, it's kind of changed the basketball, both boys and girls, not so much at the college level and stuff, but I see it a lot in high school where they're not protecting that ball. They bring it down like they're trying to carry it like a loaf of bread, and they get into so many jump ball situations instead of getting it high over their head and getting it around.
Yeah,
and I don't understand it.
I don't know. Where did chin it, wing it, swing it go?
Right.
Up until a couple years ago, it was chin, elbows out, and you started pivoting.
Yeah. But that's also things we go back to talk about last year when we talk about the one thing I just can't stand is that when a player doesn't follow their shot.
Yeah.
They let it go and then they stand there and look at it, or they move further away instead of following that shot. That when they take that shot, they've opened that lane wide open. Go get it.
Yep.
That's going to go out of bounds and stay with the Agates. That goes off of Carlson. Gustafson, Whitty, and Hanson and Smith. And Smith in as Tapney, Carlson, and Chacho Carlson will take a seat. So Whitty, Evans, Smith, Hanson, and Gustafson on the floor. Jump ball. Arrow stays with the Agates. Little House of Pain going on next to me.
Yeah. The club remix version.
Yeah, 100%. So another jump ball going to be called, and that will go possession of the Rails, and it'll come down the other way. Sorry about that, little technical difficulty. Backcourt violation going to be called on the rails. And so going back the other way are the Agates. Agates putting up a good fight here. Don't pay any attention to that scoreboard, but they are trying. They are doing their part, and they are trying to stay in this. And I love that. I know I already talked about that piece, but I just love that. Up,
yeah,
off,
they have not given up. They could have completely said, we're just done. But they're not. They're still going after loose balls. They're pushing the ball up the floor. They're making cuts. They're making passes. And they're trying. And that's what you want to see as a coach.
Foul. Oh, going to step out is Evans, as that's going to go back the other way. Giddings had a trap down on the corner. The rails going into more of a trap, kind of two-person set, or a trap there, and they're not allowing Giddings to get the ball off.
Yeah, and right now I don't see the reason for Proctor to push the ball up the floor. You're up 55-2. We don't need to scream the ball up the floor and look for layups. I get that they still need to work on their stuff, but you also need to work on slow down, control the ball stuff. We're still turning the ball over way too much.
Hagelin tries to get that pass into Machenbacher. I hope I didn't kill that totally, but goes off the hands of Evans. Aaron Hag giving me a big wave from the producer's seat. How you doing? I can't really hear you because I got a headset on, but she says she's bored. We'll have to work on that. Who hit that?
Yep.
I was teaching. I was doing a thing.
I was listening to Aaron.
All right. Hagelin can't get that to fall down in the hands of Hansen. And Carlson, Walker, Rodberg, and Chacho Carlson looking like they're getting ready to come in. What is the bet? I'd say Lola stays on the floor. What do you think? Smith.
All right, I'll take that bet.
Taking that bet?
I'll take that bet.
I think it'll be Smith that stays on the floor. Or,
Nope.
pardon me, Whitty.
Nope, yep.
It'll be Whitty.
Yep. Miss Glitter Shoes.
Miss Glitter Shoes. Hopefully Sam's somewhere listening, watching. Hagelin for the shot. Can't get it to fall. This to Gustafson. Gustafson for two. Gustafson for two, and ready to come in is Silverland. Let's see. I got Silverland getting ready to Lifto, and number 15. So I got Silverland. I got Lifto, and I didn't see the third jersey. Foul going to go against Gustafson. That'll be her first, team's first. Miot is the other one that's coming in. So Silverland, Miot.
Woody's out too.
Woody's out too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the youngest of the Evans. Anna Evans is in as well. So that was your number 5, just didn't see. Anna Evans, it's a sophomore. Coach did not agree with that. That foul going to go against Reagan Rodberg. Reagan Rodberg, first, team second. What?
I don't know about that one, Ted.
Well, can't officiate from up here, Coach.
Well, I'm trying to.
All right.
But,
Bole misses the first of two.
What are you going to do?
Bole with the only 2 points for the Agates tonight.
Let's make it 3.
Amen to that. And off the front of the iron, can't get it to fall. And Chloe Carlson down with the ball. Will run it into the offensive side. This is Evans, can't hand out of the pass, now picks it up. Carlson going to drive baseline into the paint, now pushes it way outside to Rodberg. Rodberg looking for somewhere, drives at the paint as well. Up off the glass, can't get it to fall. And into the waiting hands, Charcho Carlson ripped it away, so it couldn't be another jump ball. Pushed out to Walker for 3, and can't get that to fall, and down with the board is Balo. Pardon me, Bole. I said it backwards.
Bole.
So, Bole, yep. The Agates going to take it around the far side. Now trapped on the line there with Carlson, looking for help. Nowhere to go. The count is on. Now that's going to be just picked up by Walker as it was a loose ball. And ahead to Carlson. Carlson for 2.
Yeah, he needs to take her out of the game before she rolls an ankle or gets hurt. Which is what he's looking at right now.
Looks like he's going to have a whole slew coming in. Looks like Aubrey Bruce, Julia Towers, Ariel Gillis. Who else we got down low? Lila Whitty coming back, and Paige Evans coming back into the game. So a 5-person rotation with keeping one of those core 5 on the floor is what he's looking at doing here.
Yeah, that always made me nervous. I would have my top 5 or my 6 or 7 sit.
Blocked there by Chacho Carlson. And a shot clock violation against the Agates. Subs coming in.
Just because this is when them freak accidents happen and injuries, you know.
Yep. Giddings into the game and Hagland out for the Agates. So you got Giddings on the floor, just trying to go with Giddings, Miot, and stop there by Evans as she almost stepped through. Now looking to set it up and run it are the Rails with the younger crew in there. Gillis, one of the only players on the floor for both teams that's got some height to her.
Yeah. That's Gunther's sister.
That is Gunther's sister. That is 100% correct. She's the nicer of the siblings. I hope he hears that.
I hope he hears that too.
I totally hope he hears that. Whitty
Right,
backing
we're
down
talking
defensively.
to you,
Giddings now pushes it into the paint, now pushes it down to the baseline. Baseline goes Bole. Bole's going to get, it's going to be jump ball. That possession's going to stay with the Agates.
You know, Ted, I'd like to see, I'm going to have to go watch this 2 Harbors team play towards the end of the season.
Agreed.
You know, just to see how far they've come. Because, I mean, they're gritty. They're not giving up. They play hard. I'm excited to see them, you know, in the next couple of years as they grow together.
And agreed. And I talked with Coach Bob about that before the game. You know, and he was talking about it. I said to him flat out, I said, imagine what you'll have in 2-3 years.
Yeah, take your lumps now. And
yeah. Evans up off the board on a fast break for 2.
You know, like Evans going up there for that layup and then just landing funny. You know, that's the stuff that scares me. I just don't want to see anybody get hurt.
100%. So the Agates go back to work in the offensive zone. Pass, trying to get inside into the paint, but up with it are the Rails. That was Julia Towers picking that up off the floor. And this far side, trying to pop that is Aubrey Bruce. Aubrey Bruce is a freshman. Getting some play time.
What number is the 8th grader from 2 Harbors? Is that 21 or is that 1?
8th grader would be Hagland. That's 23.
23.
Well, they got 2 8th graders that are on the team. You got 23 in Hagland, and you got 55 in Van Gort's.
Okay. What grade is 1 and 21 in? Since you got the
1 is a junior.
Okay.
21 is a 7th grader.
7th grader.
7th grader.
So
I gave you a roster earlier, didn't I?
No.
Oh, my bad.
So Coach Bopp is playing some very young kids.
Yes, that's why I said it. Super young. Rails, Savannah Verville and Verrill. I always say it wrong. Corey Verrill. Verrill into the game. I always say it wrong, and I got to correct it and go back to knowing her dad and being able to get that said right. Tapany, far side to Walker. Walker, big grin on her face, now pushes it back to Tapany. Tapany looking for some help. Inside to Smith. So Smith, Hanson, Walker, Tapany, and Verrill on the floor for the Rails. Verrill inside. First varsity points for...
Well, she's an 8th grader too.
Yep. So Savannah Verrill gets her first varsity points of her varsity career. Again, we talked about how Coach would use the whole deep bench. It's one of the biggest I've put on a roster in 3 games.
Yeah, I think he's got 18 dressed, doesn't he?
Yeah,
something
like that, yep. Nice inside by Giddings. Kiss can't get that to fall. They've had a bunch like that tonight that just a little too tough. Yep. And just too much of a roll. Otherwise, it'd be a different score. It wouldn't be a different game, but it'd be a different score.
Yeah, I mean, Giddings is playing her heart out. You gotta give her props. I mean, she's playing hard. She's going to the hole. Just not getting anything to drop.
Absolutely. Smith for 3, and she gets it. Oh, they're going to call it a 2 for Smith. So Smith only gets 2 out of that. That shot taken by Silverland. That's going to go off. That's going to go off the Agates. It'll be green ball. I got a cough.
Yeah, it's amazing, Ted, how much everybody's got a cough right now everywhere you go.
Oh, man, you should try doing it in a classroom teaching. Oh, goodness. So Evans, Whitty, Sierra Chacho Carlson, Gustafson, and who am I forgetting? Oh, and Rodberg back in for the Rails. The Sierra Chacho Carlson, the original 5. Evans drives now, pushes it back outside. Inside to Whitty, pushes out to Chacho Carlson. Rodberg with the ball. Rodberg into the paint, up off the glass. Can't get that to fall.
That's a good move, just a little too strong.
Yeah. And Takvam will bring it up the floor for the Agates. Left side now. Lifto got it, puts it inside Giddings. Left side for 3 and just shy. Can't get that to fall. Getting ready to come back in for the Agates is Silverland. Whitty can't get that to fall. Got a little too deep there. Going to go off of the Agates, so stay with the Rails.
Hey, look, this group that's on the floor for the Rails looks very well together. Is that,
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
They've been playing together for a long while.
There you go. At least most of them.
That goes back to that conversation we had in the first half about the youth program and how for years it's the high schools made sure that the youth know what they got going on.
Yeah.
And being able to push that and make sure that by the time they get up here they're able to do what the varsity's doing because they've been doing it.
Right.
Whitty takes a step back, now gives it off to Carlson. Chacho Carlson to Gustafson. Gustafson moves to the top of the key to Whitty. Whitty rolls out. Rodberg inside. Evans off the glass, can't get it to fall. Chacho Carlson tried to come down with it, goes off her hand, and it's going to go the way of the Agates as we are now in running time.
Yes.
You going to open the shop and make me a pizza when we're done here?
No, it takes too long for the ovens to heat up.
Thought you loved me.
It takes too long for the ovens to heat up. Has nothing to do with loving you or not loving you, Ted.
Rodberg picks up the ball to the floor, brings it coast to coast, going to get a double dribble call. And they're going to go back the other way, or as we should always.
She wanted to make the
that crossover, yeah, or the bounce pass.
Yeah, and then went, I should dribble one more time.
But we should always say that, but we don't get the call enough. Double dribble.
Rubble, ribble.
Rubble, ribble.
Don't reach. There's no reason to do that. We don't need to foul.
So Carlson called for the foul. That's her second, team's third. Agates with the possession. Giddings will inbound it for the Agates. Looking for somebody now able to get it in. This is pushed down to Miot. Miot goes up, can't get it to fall. And fighting for it. They're going to say that the Rails touched the end line. That's going to be called on Aubrey Bruce. And it'll stay with the Agates. We should move down a row, shouldn't we, going forward?
Why?
We could put these guys up here and we could be down so you can see around the camera.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just looking. Wobble, wibble.
Wobble, wibble. So the Agates inbound it now. Takvam looking for someone to go and almost got a travel there, but doesn't get called for it. Miot turns left, tries to put it up, and getting a hand on it was Bruce. Inside. Nice inbound pass, just too hard off the glass was Bole, but the down with it is going to be Gilly. And moves right as Evans inside. That was to Towers. Yep. So Julia Towers tried to get that up, goes out of bounds, going to stay with the rails as it goes off at Agate. And coming in for the Agates is Motzenberger. Inside to Gilly. Can't get that to fall. And down with it is the Agates, and they'll head into the offensive side of the floor. We cannot say they have not been in their offensive side of the floor during this game.
No,
Inside, up
There you
off
go.
the glass for two is Bole. So Bole for another two. That was almost trouble. Foul going to be called on the arm. Going to go to the line is going to be Aubrey Roos. That's going to be called on number 11, Natalie Tokbaum. And that'll be her first.
Yeah, there's been a whole lot of fouls called in the second half.
There really have not.
I mean, it's been clean.
Five total fouls called between the two.
It's been a clean second half. I mean, the first half was fairly clean. I mean, there was fouls called, but they're, touch fouls. Other than the shove off that Chloe had.
Right. Bruce not able to get that first one to convert. So Maddie Tinsley now making her first entry into the game tonight. Sorry, just going down my list. So Tinsley's pass to Hansen. This is Verl for 2 or 3. Couldn't get it to fall. Got a host of bodies on the floor as Hansen, and there again is Tokbaum.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I'm excited to see Two Harbors play towards the end of the year. I'm gonna drive up there and watch them.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
We can see if there's any good pizza up in Two Harbors.
Oh, Gary's.
I know, that's why I said it. Come on now.
Come on, Dad. I know where to get pizza.
I think we both do. Have you looked at us lately?
Right.
All right. Inside.
I'm working on a diet version.
Okay, I'm confused on that as we tick down to our
there's
last 30 seconds here.
There's no such thing, Ted.
Well, the cauliflower one would be
That's a good
your
cross.
closest.
That's a good cross.
Because at least it's cauliflower.
Can't put sausage and all the good stuff on it.
That is true. Well, at the when Wiz hits the horn, we'll take a quick break. We're going to talk about our players of the game, and we'll get back right with you. And big shot up to Tinsley, over to Hansen. Bruce can't get it to fall, and that's going to go down the floor and out of bounds with 1.5 seconds left. Should have just let that clock tick, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with that, Ted.
Inbounds, big 3 shot, can't get it to fall, was number 41, Bole. And that is your final, 71-4 is your final here at the rail yard. We're going to take a break here from 3 of our sponsors. We'll be back right after that. 3 sponsors. 3 commercials. Mute. Space bar. We're still live. Space bar.
Proctor's Reed Foundation was established to enable life-enriching academic, art, and athletic activities which cannot rely on traditional funding in the Proctor School District communities. Reed has provided grants for the Imagination Library, numerous sports teams, Rails TV, A Night to Shine, the Playground for Everybody, and most recently, Reed helped the Proctor Fire Department invest in life-saving handheld thermal devices. Visit rea3d.org to learn more about how you can support Reed and help your community.
I choose Heritage Window and Door because of their reputation and because of their renewal Anderson windows that they have. And their workmanship was fantastic.
I'm so impressed.
Your home is your largest investment. don't waste your money on cheaper windows. These are the best. It's my money, and I'm going to spend it where it's going to do me the best good, and it happened to be Heritage Window and Door.
They really know how to treat a customer.
This has been an excellent experience.
Who will our next generation be? What will they achieve? At Proctor Public Schools, we see great things in the future as we create an environment to educate, engage, and inspire our students to seek adventure, gain knowledge, and make a difference. What do we see in the next generation? We see greatness. Proctor Public Schools. Don't just plan to graduate. Graduate with a plan.
So back here at the rail yard, your final here tonight in the matchup with the Harbors and the Rails, 71-4. I hate to say it in the aspect of how it's going to sound, but the score honestly doesn't really tell the story.
No,
it really doesn't.
I mean, you have a tale of two programs.
Right, 100%.
We just had a quick conversation with Coach Bob, and you have a Proctor program that's deep, that got, 8, 10, 12 kids that play ball all summer long, play AAU ball, and he's in his first year. He needs to build, and he'll get there too. There's a lot of young talent on that team, and I'm excited to see them play over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I'm excited as well, and I can't wait to see what they have. And again, I'd love to travel up with you this sometime towards the later part of the season and just watch them play as they start to get more comfortable with each other and get comfortable with the systems that he has.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, you lost. We get that. But these girls are coming out of the locker room, the two Harbors girls, and they are not hanging their heads.
Right, yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You played hard.
Well, and the cool part with that is, and one of the things that we just told Coach Bob was, we do these 3 stars. We do our Proctor Pizza Player of the Game, but let's get started with our 3 stars, right?
All right.
Our third star, I got to give it to the entire Agate bench. Just for the stuff we were just talking about, the fact that they showed up, they're playing their game, they're doing their thing, they're not hanging their heads, they continue to work the system and try, and you can't teach that.
No,
that's not teachable.
You can't, and they should be commended for that, and that's why we're doing that.
Right.
They showed up. They probably knew when they got off the bus they were outgunned and overmatched, and they didn't give up. They fought from the opening tip until the final horn.
Yeah.
And that's freaking awesome.
And then honestly, win, lose, or a draw, is that not all that you can ask of any team, is to come in, give 100%, and leave it on the floor?
Exactly. They're playing 7th graders, 8th graders, 9th graders. They don't have any seniors.
They have no seniors on the team.
This is a young team.
And let's see. Their one junior that didn't play is their better player. And that's in Bop. No, Bop.
Oh, Bop.
Yeah, who's sick.
Yeah.
You got Bop that's sick. You had Delaney Nelson, a sophomore, one of the better players, down with an ankle injury. Elena Anderson, who's ill as well, and I believe Kelsey Carlson was ill as well, as the lovely thing that we call COVID is going around and hitting everybody. And, you put that in, and I'm not saying the score is greatly different, but you might have seen a little bit more out of this team tonight. But, again, I go back. They fought. They played.
Absolutely.
And they did their thing, and they should really hold their heads proud on that one.
Absolutely.
Our second star of the game is going to go to the Agates #1, Trinity Giddings. Giddings all over the place. She didn't have the points for him. We could have tossed that up with Bole as well. But at the same time, we talked about how she brought it up the floor. We talked about how she was in the play. And she had some great shots. She just couldn't get anything to fall.
And she had it under control. She played under control. it is what it is. You did the best with what you got. You got teammates out that are sick and hurt, and you know what? They showed up. They got dressed. They came out. They played. They played hard. Not the outcome that they wanted, you know, but it is what it is. They played hard and they earned respect.
Right.
You know, whether they earned respect from everybody in the gym is one thing, you know.
They should have.
They should have. They earned respect from me just because, you showed up and you're down players and you're hurt and you're sick and you didn't give up.
Right.
You know, and I would certainly hope that they earned respect from the team that they played in Proctor tonight, you know,
Right.
because they
100%.
didn't give up.
100%. And then our Proctor Pizza player of the game is going to go to one of the leaders on this team, a junior in number 22, Lily Smith.
Yep. You know, I think she set the tone in the first half. She pretty much took the game, put her on her back in the first half. I mean, she had 14, 16 points in the first half. You know, I don't even know how many assists she had. But, you know, that is definitely our number one player of the game.
Yeah, 100%. So she will get a free 12-inch pizza with 12-inch, right?
Yeah.
Free 12-inch, one-topping 12-inch pizza, courtesy of Proctor Pizza and Sub Shop, Main Street Proctor, one of our main in-game sponsors for all of our basketball games here, and we appreciate them. So our 3 stars, the Agates bench, Giddings, and then Lily Smith, our Proctor Pizza player of the game. We'll be back on, let me let you finish. You got anything else you'd like to throw out there?
I am excited to watch Bailey Hermanson on Thursday night. And I would think we'll see more of the shot clock come into play on Thursday than we did tonight.
Right, you were talking about that just because of how Coach Clark likes to do things and stuff like that. You might see that on that end of the floor.
Of course, we're sitting here talking about that, and it might just be an ultimate drag race.
Right, yeah,
You know,
could be.
You never know, because I think last year I'm like, it's going to be a drag race, and it was a slowdown game.
Yeah, we were like, where'd the molasses come from?
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like, Ted, hold my microphone. I'll be back, and by the time the ball gets the other end of the floor, I'll come back with 2 hot dogs.
Yeah, right. Well, that's our final here, 71-4. The Rails move to 1-2. The Agates move to 1 and 3. Sorry, and they will be back on air here on Thursday when we'll have the Hawks come a-calling. On behalf of myself, Aaron Hagg, our producer, director of senior leadership, our scoreboard and technical guru, Maddie Bobin, and our camera operator extraordinaire, Max Merrill, and of course, the coach, Chad Brenna. Want to thank you for stopping by. Again, we'll be live Thursday, 7:15, right here from the rail yard when the Hawks come a-calling. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.
We're at a crossroads. From time to time, a section of rail needs repair, but that doesn't mean the whole line needs replacement. The same way being proud of your history doesn't mean you're stuck in the past. No, we're not stuck. We hear the whistle blowing and we're inspired. Inspired by the legacy of the people who transformed this terrain into a rail yard that supplied America with the ore needed to win world wars. We're inspired by our unshakable identity, hanging tight like David facing down Goliaths, and we're moved by stories of our community's kindness. No matter who needs help, neighbors pitch in and get the job done. Hushed and humbled are more at play than pontification, but don't for 1 second think that means Proctor is a simple small town. It was built as a company town, and it continues down the tracks of time. And this rail revival is our destination.